Queens get the money. Queens get the money. Queens get the money. Queens get the money, yeah. I'ma knock it out the park with this one. I'ma knock it out the park with this one, yeah. I'ma knock it out the park with this one. Queens get the money. Queens get the money.
Welcome to Queens Get the Money. My name is Barry Grant Jr. I have a gang of friends with me tonight. Nicole, the silent assassin, how are you feeling?
Pretty good. How are you?
Pretty good. You know, it's a therapy session. I look forward to these things. Hopefully one day we're just like, oh, the Mets are rolling. What are we talking about? But it's more of a therapy session today. Tom Greer, how you doing, sir?
Doing all right. I'm I don't know how to feel. Fresh off of a Knicks comeback win against the Cavs last night.
You should feel good.
That feels good. The Mets, on the other hand, who are always my first love, not so good. It kind of hurts. Today sucked.
They break your goddamn heart every night.
Every night.
We have a guest today. You know, I don't know why he wanted to come on the show and voice his displeasure like the rest of us, but he wanted to come on here, and we are happy to have him. Welcome, Alfred Parsard Jr., the host of the Metropolitan Report.
Glad to be here, and like Tom, I'm used to having my heart broken, and all the goodwill they built up with me over the last week is starting to fade away now.
Doesn't it feel like the last week has been like it didn't even happen? This is what it feels like. The 5-1. Who cares about that? Who cares about the homestand? You look like garbage now. I'm over it. So, Alfred, before we start, I'd like for you to be able to drop your socials, please, where people can be able to find you, find the content, because you are rolling with the content right now. So, shouts to you, my friend.
Yeah, thank you. So, it's we're on YouTube, the Metropolitan Report podcast. Everything pops up there. We're also on Facebook, which we upload stuff to quite regularly. Metropolitan Report podcast on Facebook as well. And then on Instagram, it's _Metropolitan_. So, yeah.
All right, sir.
Report.
All right.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So, where are we starting? Obviously, we have to start with this game. Mets lose 8-4. The third game, they dropped two of the first three games of this series with the Nationals. The Nationals have our number this year so far. Ladies and gentlemen, how are we feeling? Who wants to start?
Obviously, coming off a high from the Yankee series, and then you're kind of like, oh, like this is kind of taking a turn. Just like we talked about, like May as a whole has kind of been that turn. Like, okay, maybe we're getting somewhere. Maybe we can kind of turn the season around. Hopes, and then you kind of just see games like tonight and yesterday where it's like, oh, okay, this is the Mets. This is
right back to normal. Yeah.
So it definitely sucks, but it's. I feel like it's always the teams, like it's the Nationals, it's the Marlins that always kind of seem to get at the Mets, and kind of be those teams that kind of ruin their hopes for the season. And then to the Nationals, like what is it? They say like their offense is the best in NL, or has like the most runs.
Yeah, they're up there. I mean, you got CJ Abrams. He drove in 40. He has 42 RBIs right now.
Yeah, which is it's crazy for them to be that, and then like their pitching is just terrible. So I can't imagine even if they had decent pitching where the Nationals would be at this moment.
Yeah.
It's hard to see because also too. Like watching the intro again, so it's like literally half those players aren't even on the current.
Not even here.
Yeah, not even here right now. So it's definitely hard to look at, just injury wise too. Like how many rookies that the Mets have on this roster, and they're pretty much exciting to see, especially Carson Bench has come around. but like I can't imagine being in spring training and expecting to see this type of roster,
Yeah.
especially in May, of all the
Yeah.
people down or all the people that are just not producing to, their best abilities. So I'm just ready. I think, was it 2 weeks ago? I think we said like what we want to see by the end of the year, and also I think I said at least 500.
Yeah.
I'm still pushing that. I don't really expect anything better than that at this point, but we still have a long season to go, to be
Yeah.
honest. So
A lot of
we'll
games.
see what happens. Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of games. Well said, Nicole. Tom?
I just I honestly, I feel bad for Zach Thornton. Like he gets thrown out there after having only pitched, I think he only pitched 2 games in AAA. He had good games. 2 games in AAA. He's got to go against the best offense in baseball, or at least top five offense in baseball. Gives up 4 runs, and I can't really blame him. Again, he's a kid. Then he settled in, looked pretty good. I mean, I think he only went 4. Did he only go 4?
Yeah.
I guess I can't really expect much. I don't know, man. It still sucks. I'm trying to move towards. We talked about it. Barry, you said it. I think you said when you had mentioned that we were talking about like the things that we want to see out of this season. You just want to see young kids that you can get like excited about, something to like get you excited about the future. I guess that's what we really have to do right now this season, because I am really loving what I'm seeing out of Carson Benj. With his development, I'm excited to see what we're going to get out of AJ Ewing. I'm excited to see what we're going to get out of Morabito. I did say a couple weeks ago that if we want to be happy, maybe we should be Syracuse Mets fans. I get the Mets listened and are just going to be like, oh, okay, we'll just call up all the guys from Syracuse and we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But I think they're going to be an above 500 team when it's all said and done. I don't think we're going to be in for like a straight up like loser season, but I really think it's like let's just hope that some of these kids come up, and I'm sure Thornton's not going to be the last one. Guys are dropping like flies. I don't even know if we're going to see Luis Robert or Polanco again this year. You know what I mean? At this point. So that's pretty much how I'm feeling. Let's see how the youth handles this.
Yeah, definitely. Alfred?
So I got to admit, I was riding very high after Sunday. And, for the team to struggle as much as they do, they get a sweep in one series. They beat the crosstown rival in the next series. And then they win the first game of this series. And you're thinking, okay, now is the start that we're going to turn it around. Now we're going to wipe the dreck of late March and all of April off of us. And then 2 stinker games back to back in a row. And there's starting to become a theme that I realize in this David Stearns era, is that the kids from the farm are getting chances, not because they may have necessarily earned them, but because it's a necessity. The starting rotation, they had to move Peters in the bullpen. Senga's hurt. Holmes, only God knows if we're going to see Clay Holmes back this year. And they had to go and get Zach Thornton. And the bullpen is taxed because you had an extra inning game Sunday. You had an extra inning game on yesterday. So, it's an extra inning game on Monday. So it's quite frustrating. It's like for every step of progress that's made, it gets erased somehow.
Yeah, I just hate the fact that, we're starting to see Bo Bichette come alive. Obviously, he didn't have a great game today at the plate. Has some decent at-bats. But Soto's starting to come alive. That bat's starting to wake up. You know what I mean? Being on the DL or IL, excuse me. I hate saying the DL, but it's one of those things where it's just like you want to see these guys play well while the team is winning, right? Like they're hitting, they're doing what they have to do, and there's wins that are coming because of that. They're playing well, and there's no wins coming because of that. It's not necessarily their fault. It's just a myriad of problems that the Mets are having right now. And it's not just one thing. That's what's the most frustrating part of it, is that when the bats wake up, it's now the pitching. When the pitching is solid, the bats are not solid. Or when the bats are pretty good and the pitching is pretty serviceable, the defense falls apart, right? Like it's not one thing. And this is why this team on a whole is definitely an average baseball team. They're either in below average to an average baseball team. I don't see that they're anything higher than that, because average teams or below average teams, this is what they look like. They will have good games, they will have good moments, and then they'll go back to doing really, really bad fundamental stuff. And this is what we see constantly from this team. And, you know, if we're going back to the game yesterday, that was probably the weirdest baseball game I've ever watched. Like I've never had that type of ebb and flow of emotion in such a quick turnaround time. Like you're up 5-0, you're feeling good. Bo Bichette is knocking the cover off the ball. Mets fans are going crazy, and then all of a sudden, it just falls apart. Defensively, it falls apart. Nothing can happen after a certain while, and it's just like, is this the same team we just watched the first 3 innings of the game? Like, what the hell happened? And then, you know, we're going to talk about it because this is a big concern for me, is that I am not saying that the kid is not good, because I think he has a bright future. But can we stop talking about him like he's one of the best pitchers in baseball now, please? Can we stop talking about Nolan McLean like he's one of the best elite pitchers in baseball, because he's not? He can get there. He's just not there yet. And I think as Met fans, we tend to give people the reins too early, right? We had people talking about, oh, he's the next coming of Jacob deGrom. No, he's not. He's not. That is a high bar to set for any kid that has so much pressure on them. He's not even the best pitcher in New York. That's Cam Slitler. Like, we all know that, right? So again, this is one of the topics that we wanted to discuss tonight, is that, are we concerned about Nolan McLean going forward? I'm not concerned about him going forward. I'm concerned about him in the interim, because he's not giving us much length consistently. And then what I see, especially yesterday, he had 6 batters, 6 hits that went over 100. It was 100 miles exit velo. He got rocked yesterday. And it was not a lot of, like, you know, unlucky stuff. It was middle pitches that were getting hammered. That sweeper that is always pretty much his go-to pitch was getting clobbered. So, and we're starting to see him struggle a little bit more consistently over these starts. So I'll go ahead and ask Alfred first, because he's our guest. Thoughts about Nolan McLean? Do you feel that he still can be able to be an ace for this season? I'm not talking about long term. I'm just talking about what we need him to be for this season. Or is it one of those things where we really have to start just thinking about him as a prospect that's still developing, and stop having all of these expectations on his head?
So I'm going to give you a complex answer to this question, because it's not an easy question to answer.
It isn't.
By baseball terminology definition, the ace of a staff is typically regarded as the best pitcher in the starting rotation, right? So out of everybody who's available, and I'm not talking about anybody who's injured. This doesn't include David Peterson, because he's no longer in the rotation per se. But when you look at all the starting options, Nolan McLean, Christian Scott, our old friend 5-inning Freddie, like Nolan McLean is the best one of the bunch, because when you know that Nolan McLean is taking the hill, 98% of the time, you know he's going to at least give you 6. At least give you 6. You know for a fact that when Nolan McLean touches the hill, the bullpen is not in danger of being taxed. It's very unlikely there's going to be heavy bullpen arm usage when Nolan McLean takes the hill. Now, with that being said, if you look at the back of his baseball card, he's still a rookie. He's still eligible for Rookie of the Year this year, should he, God forbid, not have any injury that'll take him out long term. So he still kind of is a rookie. He's still officially in the Mets, listed as the Mets' #1 prospect in the pipeline, even though he's been here since the end of last year. So it's kind of unfair to give him the ace label. But at the same time, when you look at the definition of the terminology, he's the most reliable starter that we have. It was Howie Rose the other day, and I sent this to you offline. Howie Rose on the Mets broadcast on Sunday said that if Freddie Peralta makes it through 6, we should throw a parade for him. Like he's not reliable to get you more than 5. Christian Scott, he's not ready. He's just been fortunate enough that when he pitches, the offense clicks, so we win games, even though he doesn't have a win on his record yet. And then look at all the other options. There are no other options because Peterson has been taken out of the rotation. Senga's hurt. And everybody else has been a spot starter, or they call him up, send him back down right after. So as far as what we have to work with right now, by default, he's the de facto ace, even though he has not necessarily earned that title. But when you look at all of what's in the rotation, it's like the best of the worst in that case. So I don't want to say he's an ace in a traditional sense, but as far as what we have to throw out there on the mound every 5 days, the most reliable one. And it's sad to say that a kid who's truly in his first full season, is considered, it's not like a Jacob Mizorowski in Milwaukee situation where you had a midseason call up and that guy is the guy. This guy is the guy for us because he's the most reliable out of, and there's not many other options here.
And also, just to your pointer in regards to, being the pitcher that can be able to go the deepest for us consistently over his first 10 starts of the season, he's gone to the 6th inning 5 times. So it's literally half.
Yep.
So that's not even like a lock for him to be able to go 6. And that's a problem too. You know what I mean? We really don't have a pitcher that can be able to consistently go 6. Tom?
Yeah, I mean, I Alfred, I'm in lockstep with you. I think it's Nolan McLean. I think I might have said it in the at the start of the season. Like, it's unfair to even put Nolan McLean and Jacob deGrom in the same sentence. Like, I know that the Mets are historic for the Mets are known for bringing up some good pitchers and developing pitchers. Like, we do that a lot. Mets do that a lot. So the second you see anybody that's good, you're going to start comparing them to all the guys from the past. And, you saw what we got out of Nolan McLean last year. So like, oh my God, we got our new stud. Here we go. And I think we're just coming to the realization that we're coming, like James mentioned it before, that we need to chill on this team because they're really young. At this point, a lot of the older guys that we were going to rely on are really young. Nolan McLean is one of those guys. He has some electric stuff. He throws wiffle balls. We keep saying it all the time. But I think the kid is at a point in time where he's like, okay, the league's figured me out. All the good pitchers figure out how to outthink the guys at the plate.
Got to make the adjustment.
This is his time to make the adjustment. I think we're seeing the negatives of letting Jeremy Hefner go because he clearly knew how to deal with pitchers. It wasn't Jeremy Hefner's fault that the rotation just got decimated by injury last year. You know what I mean? It's not his fault that happened, but what are we going to do? I think Nolan McLean has had a couple of rough starts. I still trust him. I still believe in him, but we're just going to have to wait and see. We're going to have to let the kid develop at the major league level because that's what the Mets are. The Mets are a development project now. This is not a team that you're expecting to be ready to go win in the playoffs, go win a World Series. This is a team that is about development at this point because that's all we have.
Yeah. Nicole?
So obviously yesterday was his worst MLB start. And I didn't get to watch the game live, but on the replays, I could kind of see some of his reactions. He was kind of getting, a little, I don't know if you say flustered, but definitely reacting. I feel like more than we've seen to hits and all that. But for me personally, just with him, he's like the one guy in the rotation where I feel like, okay, like he's on the mound, like we have a high probability of winning. And I feel like we haven't really seen that since, I'm not comparing, but since like a Jacob deGrom where you have confidence, he still has a long way to go. I think from last year and this year, he's had maybe around 20 starts?
A little less, 18.
A little less, 18? So still not even a full year. So I think it's in the past, like give him a full complete year to kind of give like a solid kind of decision of where he fits. On ace level and all that, but I'm still confident in him, and in this moment, we'll see how he progresses and those changes that he can make, with the league kind of getting to him, I know, I believe it was Bryce Harper during a baseball class saying, like, this is, like, the craziest, pitcher that I've seen, in a minute. So, I still have confidence in him. And, for me personally on this team, like, he is the one guy that I'm like, okay, he's out there. We have a high chance of winning this game, despite even if the offense is down. He just keeps us in the game. And I know there's kind of been some ups and downs lately, but I'm sure he'll figure it out.
Yeah, I think I'm there too, guys, that he hasn't had a full season yet. And I just think that as a collective fan base, we just got way over our skis, putting too much pressure on this kid. I think we kind of got a little bit of like a preview in the World Baseball Classic of what he was. You know what I mean? Because you can see the great stuff, but you also saw that, listen, he can get hit on occasion, right? Like his stuff is hittable when it's middle. You know what I mean? Like it's one thing when you can be able to have movement like that, but if that movement is middle, they're gonna tattoo you. Yeah. These are the world's greatest hitters. So it's something that he really has to focus on about being able to command the strike zone with that movement that he has. It's one thing to have the stuff, man, but I have a big problem with these young pitchers nowadays is that they're more throwers than there are pitchers. They got to figure out how to be able to manipulate the strike zone a little bit more rather than just trying to blow by guys. Like, being crafty is a lot more is a lot better as a pitcher than be able to just be power all the time. Like, because if you're crafty, you can be able to stretch out 6, 7, 8 innings, right? And then you can be able to give them the dominance with the power. That's what DeGrom was really good at. That still is, right? That he can be able to throw 100 plus, but he also understands the strike zone, and he had that from early on. So there's a lot of stuff that McLean can be able to work on. It just really sucks that we just really do not have an ace. And that is concerning for a team going forward, especially the team that's trying to get out of the dumpster that they're all right now, right? Yeah. Moving forward to the other pitcher, before we get into our other topic after that, is I told you that I had a hot take, Tom.
I thought the Nolan McLean stuff was the hot take.
Oh, no. It's not
all right.
This is the hot take. I am okay with trading Freddie Peralta now.
Oh, okay.
That's not that much of a hot
That's
take.
not that hot. At this point, it's not.
The way I was talking about him is a hot take for me. Because I was like, you got to sign him. You got to do this. I am all right with having him hit the bricks. Because I ain't going to lie to you. That 5-inning shit is over for me. I am over it. I am over you. If you cannot give us any type of length, there's no way that a team like us that is desperate for pitching can go ahead and invest big money into you, knowing that you can't go more than 5 innings at a time. Howie Rose said it. This guy goes ahead and thinks that 6 innings, we're supposed to just give him a cookie. Like 6 innings ain't nothing for a pitcher. That's supposed to be the normal for a guy of his caliber. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I am good with giving him an extension. No. Let his ass walk at the end of the season. They want to trade him at the deadline, go ahead and trade him. We'd be able to get something for him. I'm all right with that, because if you're not going to give us ace caliber stuff, then you might as well get traded. And we're not going to go ahead and give you big dollars, because you can't pay for 5 innings. You just can't do it. You just can't do it. What do you guys think about that?
I'm with you 100%. I liked Freddie Peralta. I've been saying it since the offseason. I was always, let's just see how he pitches here first before we go backing up the Brinks truck for him. I am all on, let's just see what this young farm system has, assuming that the guys are ready. If you want to trade Freddie at the deadline, hopefully we can get a good return back for him. I'd like to think we would. I think he still does have value to a team that's contending.
Yeah.
And let's let some of the kids come up. You know what I mean? Weniger's down in the down in AAA dealing right now.
I want to see him.
Bring him up. Let's see what we got. Let's test Nolan McLean. Let's just understand that this is a development year, and let's see what we have instead of just relying on Freddie Peralta, who's gonna give us 5, like we keep saying, 5-inning Freddie, and let's cash out. I mean, let's cash out. And that's not even me necessarily giving up on the season. That's just me saying, like, I can't rely on that. I watched all last year I've watched years of the Mets just burning their bullpen, what happened in 2015? By the time we got to the World Series, the bullpen was dead. All the Mets do is burn their bullpen. We need guys that can give us something. Please I would love it. Howie's right. I'll throw him a parade. I'll throw him a ticker tape parade for going 6. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It's embarrassing at this point. Like to have a pitcher that cannot go past that inning. It's embarrassing. It really is embarrassing. So Nicole, what are your thoughts about that in regards to me saying that I'm just over Freddie Peralta? I think that we should look to trade him. If the Cubs want him, they can take him. They can take him. Give us some prospects back. Give us some prospects back, and we all right. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, definitely sucks. Like looking back on, we were both very high on. And we're saying sign them both for Skubal and Peralta for next year.
Not giving one.
Either that's that's happening.
Not both of them. Give one.
yeah. So it's funny how that kind of turned, but no, I agree. Especially you can kind of thank David Stearns for kind of sticking to his, whatever it was at that moment. He only wanted to give it a couple years because Peralta allegedly wanted 7-8 years, whatever it was, and they weren't going to budge on that. But you cannot give that type of length contract-wise to a guy that's going to go 5 innings. And for the type of money that he's probably wanting, it's probably going to be a crazy amount of money. So I think, you sell high now. He still has a lot of value. They gave up to, solid prospects for him. And then you kind of get that in return. Like, he hasn't been horrible, this year. It's just that the innings haven't been where they should be for a guy like him. And especially it's like we had Kimbrel go to his longest outing of his career today. And that shouldn't even be happening, but it's
that poor guy. That poor guy.
Like, who do you have out there that can go and it's just everything's kind of cooking right now with the bullpen, and we just need some length from some of these starters. But you can't blame Thornton either. He's his MLB debut, and he was okay.
He was fine.
He was okay, but we can't have Kimbrel out there pitching 2 innings.
Going against an elite offense like the Nationals, four runs is not terrible. It's about being able to try to keep up with that, right? And we just can't. But Freddie Peralta has pitched 6 innings 3 times in 10 starts. That's insane.
Brutal.
Like, you can't have it. You just can't have it, man. You can't have it. Alfred?
All right. So I guess my mindset is kind of different. If the Mets, by the trade deadline or in that area of time, if they are either at 500 or close to 500, I say you keep Freddie, because we also have to remember this is Peralta's first season in New York, right? We've seen many of players of years gone by. They're good where they came from in some small market, and then they come to New York and they struggle or don't play as well as they normally do elsewhere in their first year. We see it all the time. Mets included, Yankees included, like we see it all the time.
Uh-huh.
If this year is going to be a failed year, like let's say, I don't know, we're 10 games or more under, or we know that there's no chance to make a wild card if the National League stays the way that it is this year, because the National League is ultra competitive record-wise, then I say trade him, see what you could get. Don't be like the Angels where they were like, we're going to try to make a run, and they kept Shohei and then he left in free agency and they got nothing for him. But if your record says that you can potentially be in the postseason, I think it's worth a shot to keep him. Only because the rotation is decimated already. Clay Holmes was the best starter we had stat-wise, and he's now gone, so he won't be around for the stretch. So it's really just him and McLean, as much as he can't get to past the fifth inning, but he's the second best pitching option on this team, barring some type of move. So I say if the Mets are contending for a wild card spot by the deadline, you keep him. And then if he, who's to say down the stretch? Because we all remember the magic of 2 years ago, where suddenly we caught fire, and all of these journeyman and reclamation projects that Stearns loves started to play lights out. So who's to say in the second half he can't flip the switch? If he flips the switch this year in the second half, he may get a second half card in MLB The Show next year. So
I can't tell you how much I needed to hear that right now. I can't tell you.
Just being realistic, because my thing is this: if you do have a chance to get to the postseason, you keep him. It doesn't make sense to flip him, and then now you tank your chances when you're at 500 or slightly above 500. I will say this though, and I'll say it here first: if we do have to flip him at the deadline, I think he ends up back in the NL Central. Somebody in the NL Central is going to take a flyer on him, because every team in that division is competitive right now.
Oh yeah.
How about the Pirates? We'll take we'll take Chandler.
They're not going to give up Bubba Chandler for Peralta. They're having
This
is their first winning season in a decade. They're not trying to sabotage that.
We'll take Bubba. Okay, that's what we want.
I do think it's a really good point that you made, though, that the fact that the Mets literally, like, it's crazy to think that the offense is, the offense is waking up a little bit, and it's crazy to think that we're now flipping the script and saying, wow, we really have absolutely no pitching. Like, at first it was like the offense is anemic, the offense is terrible, nobody can hit, and now it's like, wow, we got nobody to pitch. I don't even know if they can afford to trade Freddie. Like, even if you traded him and you called up one of the young kids, like, you still need experience here.
At that point, it would have to be Wenninger, because who else from Syracuse is ready? We've already plucked Thornton already. So,
well,
I don't want to hot take. I don't want to see Jonah Tong anytime soon in Queens. Leave that young man in Syracuse.
I agree.
He needs time.
I don't know if we're gonna get. I don't know if we'll have time to get to it later. But they said that they're keeping him on ice right now. They scratched him from his start today in AAA because he might be up for the Marlins series.
Yeah.
I don't understand why is Wenninger not coming up over Tong? I don't understand that.
I don't know.
According to the last scouting report I read on Wenninger, they want him to get his walks down. His K per 9 is 5. So for every 9 innings he pitches, he averages 5 walks, which is kind of high, but I would still pick him over Tong, to your point.
I agree.
Yeah. So, here's another question for us. Should the Mets trade for a starting pitcher?
Yes.
Go ahead, Alfred, if you got it.
All right, here we go. If they're going to make a trade for a starting pitcher, you have to target the American League, only because the American League is far less competitive than the NL right now. So there are going to be more AL sellers than there are going to be NL sellers this trade deadline. Seattle right now is underperforming. Seattle, you might be able to get Logan Gilbert if you give him the right package. That's somebody that I've been having my eye on. His numbers are good despite the team floundering. So that's always an option. Who else? Soriano on the Angels, having some magic. I don't know what's in the air in LA over there, but that he's breathing. But George Soriano's having a heck of a season. I'm sure the Angels are never going to go anywhere anytime soon. They'll probably ship him for the right package. So there are guys out there who are good on bad teams and having great outings on bad teams. It's just a matter of what can you put together to get that player.
All right. Nicole?
For me, like, they have to get hot in order to do that. I feel like, say tomorrow, like, we see a trade, like, I'll be like, why did they do that? But come the trade deadline, if we're in a really good position and we have confidence that this team can contend, in the playoffs, or even, get to the playoffs and then contend in the playoffs, definitely they have to make that move. And then going with Alfred said too, like at that point as well, like keeping Freddie, but it matters what their record is come that time for me to say if they should do that or not. Because then
what do you think in regards to record? Like what would be a range for you? Did they have to be at 500, a little over 500, or 5-6 games under 500 to be comfortable? Like what is your mark to actually say that they can be able to go ahead and make a trade for a starting pitcher?
I would say either, it's going to be hard to kind of get first place with the Braves record, but at least, first place or a good standing record in the wild card.
Okay.
Whether it be, number one or a couple games up or half game below, like in that race, like pretty heavily where we are confident that they can get that spot and take that over. Because, you just have to also find the vibe of the team because, like, they can get hot. Like, we just seen they were hot, I would say, and then kind of falls apart in 2 games. So just having, even like as fans in the team, like have confidence that they can make a run, not just taking like how I'd say like, oh, they're hot right now, let's just kind of get all these players because we're hot right now, and then it just falls apart. You just have to have that chemistry as well. And if the team is playing with that chemistry and they're playing good, I would say, take a chance on that. But if they're playing good and there's no chemistry, then just leave it. Keep the prospects and kind of go for the future.
Shouts to James Fulmer. He's giving us a compliment. We appreciate it.
Appreciate it, man.
We're trying to make sense of this. We're trying to make sense of this, but we appreciate the support. Tom, what are your thoughts about that?
I think I would need to see the Mets. I need to see them at least 500 before I even take them remotely seriously. And then I could probably get on board with them going to trade for a starting pitcher. I didn't even think about it because I was more on I think they still need to trade for another bat.
Yeah.
I was ready to have that conversation, but now, I mean, really, when you take a step back and look at it, they have no pitching.
No.
So I think they're going to have. I think if they plan on like trying to contend, if David Stearns is serious that they really believe that the players that are here still can contend, once you get to that 500 mark, I think you have to. You have to make some kind of move.
Especially if you're within striking distance of the wild card spots, right? Like if you're,
I think they're only like 7 games back right now.
Yeah, I think there's 7.5, something like that. So once you get to like 3, then now you can be able to say, okay, we're right there. We can be able to, make a run, make some good trades, and go ahead and go at this, right? So they're not that far away from that, but at the same time, it's a skeleton crew when you look at that starting pitching staff. It's a skeleton crew. Like how can you feel confident even staying within a certain distance of the wild card when you have no pitching?
Yeah.
Like you're literally going to be you're literally trying to be the Nationals at this point. You want to hope that the offense is so over the top great that the pitching doesn't even matter in regards to them being able to just be average, have starters give up 4 or 5 runs, but your offense is going ahead and scoring 6 and 7, right? Like that's what you're hoping for, but that's not a good plan to have because it's not a consistent game plan to go into any game with.
No. The Nationals aren't winning. The Nationals, like, let's be real. The Nationals aren't winning anything.
No,
like,
they're not winning.
They're looking really good. They're not winning anything that important because they can't pitch. I mean, I don't. If they can make a move, so I don't have to see Huascar Brazoban open for David Peterson because for some reason David Peterson can't pitch if there's a 1 in the inning. Like, what are we doing? Like, get rid. I don't want to see that anymore. Like, Brazoban's good. Brazoban's good coming out of the bullpen. I don't want to see him open games anymore. Get me a real starter.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
And I just said that after talking about wanting to trade Freddie. I feel like I feel like I'm taking crazy pills.
It just makes you crazy. It makes you crazy. Alfred, you had talked about Devin Williams on your show. Are you confident that he has turned the corner with just his comfort level being in this spot for the Mets?
I would say yes, only because if you look at all of his sorry, he's not a starter. If you look at all of his appearances after that dreaded game where he blew it against the Twins back in late April,
yeah,
the man's been lights out.
He's been
9 consecutive appearances, only allowed 1 hit in that time frame, no ERA, 11 strikeouts, 2 walks, and most of those appearances have been in high leverage situations. He has no blown saves in that time period, and even 2 wins. And he's pitched some of those appearances in back-to-back days. Dare I say, he's looking like the dangerous kid that we saw come up in 2020.
The airbender.
And not only that, but if you pull up early footage of him this year and something from like the last 2 weeks, you notice his energy is different. He looks more confident. He looks poised. It's not like that appearance against the Dodgers where he came out and he looked like he was about to face like some type of destruction or apocalypse was upon us.
Deer in headlights.
Yeah, the man doesn't look nervous anymore. So I don't know if maybe, a lot of people say that Luke Weaver's confidence is rubbed off on him because he's turned the corner too, and he turned the corner before Devin Williams did. But I'm not sold on he's going to be a lights out closer the rest of the year. But I'm more confident in him now than I was a month ago.
Cole?
Yeah, I agree. He's definitely looked really, really good, especially on that during the Yankee series. Like, I really love the energy that he was kind of putting out there. I wish that energy kind of carried over to, the series. Don't we all? Yeah, because I'm like, this is what I've been waiting for, to kind of see like this, emotion on the field. Yeah, like to me, like, I know it does happen, but for one instance to kind of ruin a guy, a couple years ago, like, I just couldn't really believe that, because he was a top closer in the game since his come up, where he won I believe Rookie of the Year that year as well.
Yeah,
like he was a top closer in the game, and then come the Mets, Pete Alonso, and just kind of derail his career. I'm hyped that he's definitely found his stride. And there's going to be games where mistakes happen. So I'm not gonna say it's never gonna happen again, but I do have confidence in him that he can kind of be that lockdown closer going forward, and have Weaver as well. So having a good 8 and 9 inning guy for the remainder of the season.
Tom?
Look, I'm honestly, we all got scars. We all got them. I rarely trust closers. I do trust Devin Williams at this point. I don't know. Relievers are fickle. You know what I mean? They have good years. They have bad years. I think we're catching Devin Williams on a good one, which makes me really happy. But no, Alfred, you're right. When this guy comes out of the bullpen, I have a weird confidence that he's going to figure it out. He looks like a guy that has the confidence that he's going to figure it out. He's the least of my worries when it comes to the New York Mets. I am thrilled that he's here. I got no bad things to say about him. He's got a couple of, shaky outings early on, but I mean, look, we all thought it was terrible when they did it after Diaz left. He makes me miss Diaz a little less right now.
Especially with all the cockfighting.
That's true.
Pause. Listen, you know how I feel about no damn Devin Williams. I didn't want him here, right? I didn't want him here. But the man's been cooking. And you have to give him respect because he's producing. That's one thing that I'm always going to do. Like, if I can have my opinion on you, I can send you to Mars, but I can also call the ship back for you, right? So this guy he has had over a year in New York already. he understands the market now, right? He understands how crazy and how fickle this fan base and this media can be. All he knows how to do now, all he has to focus on, is just pitching. Just deliver the pitches, one pitch at a time, and be able to focus on that. I think a lot of times when you put somebody in this environment, we have to be very, very cognizant that we live here, right? When you are transplanting somebody into this nut job of a place, it's a lot. It's a lot to have to deal with. When you are coming into Queens and this big contract is put on you and people automatically believe that you got to be Eric Gagne and have 60 plus saves in your first year, that's a lot to have to deal with. And it takes guys a little while. Like sometimes, we always talk about like there's a mulligan year for Mets. Like they get signed here and they have that bad season, and then the next following season they turn into all-stars, right? It's a thing for the Mets. So for him to be able to show signs of turning it around very early, that's positive for us, right? Normally we see guys struggle for half the year until they figure it out, or the whole year before they figure out the next season, right? So I am very, very confident in him as well. I'm confident in him. I'm confident in Luke Weaver. So if we can be able to get, the starting pitching situated, I think we will have a chance to be able to win a lot more games than we're losing. It's just there's just an issue that we just have to clear up, whether it's the young kids that can be able to help us, or we got to go ahead and make a trade like we were talking about earlier. Moving on. How do we feel? How do we feel about the impact of the young bats that we've gotten so far? Nick Morabito, Carson Bench, AJ Ewing. I know AJ Ewing is not hitting as I would like him, but his impact, his patience at the plate, his ability to draw walks. Carson Bench is definitely looking like the guy that we thought he would look like when he was given, when he won the right field position at the start of the season. So, is this something that is giving us kind of a mirror into the future, or kind of just like looking into the future as what this team can look like? Because my dream for this team is, because Benj is not a leadoff hitter. I don't think that he's a natural leadoff hitter. He can do it, but I think he's going to be our 3-hole hitter going forward in his career. He just has that type of talent. I believe that AJ Ewing is going to be our leadoff hitter. And if you can be able to have Nick Morabito somewhere as your 8-9, and then you can have that wheel come around, I think that this is a recipe for success, to have 2 speedsters, 2 demons on the base paths that can be able to cause damage and really cause some frustration for pitchers. I'm very, very happy and confident about what this team can look like in the next year or two. So, definitely, Tom, I'll give it to you. Like, what are your thoughts about just the impact of the young guys, man, and how they can be able to not only help for this season, but, just the prospects of them being able to be the cornerstone pieces for this team going forward?
Yeah, I think that's what a lot of this season is going to end up being. And I think Carson Benj is an example of what we're going to have to do with Nick Morabito and AJ Ewing. Like, they're not, Carson Benj took a minute to adjust to major league pitching, and now he's finally starting to really, come into his own and really starting to feel like he's got it all figured out. We're gonna have to that time's going to be needed for AJ Ewing. That time is going to be needed for Nick Morabito. I hope that all of those guys come up and be real contributors, because I think that this season was David Stern's plan on fast forward.
Yeah.
I think his plan was to bring in some older veteran guys to eventually have these young guys take their spots and take their positions. That way he doesn't have to give out these giant contracts to other players. He can just use the guys in the farm. Yep. They touted this farm system, I think, since he got here. Yep. So I'm excited to see what we have. I'm excited to see if these guys are going to be a part of the future going forward. But it's going to be a learning curve. These guys they're kids. Like we said last week, AJ Ewing was in high school a couple of years ago. You know what I mean? He was facing, kids that had curfews a couple of years ago, and now he's playing $1 million baseball players, the best in the world. So it's going to take a while for these guys to get accustomed to the game, and we're going to have to live with those lumps, and that's probably going to be a huge bump in the road for the Mets, because they're going to have to be waiting for these young guys to come and produce when you need to win games. But I think they are fully capable of giving this team a shot in the arm. We just got to preach patience, which a lot of Met fans don't have. Rightfully so. We don't have a lot of patience.
Absolutely. Alfred?
I think the future is bright. I'm excited to. If it were up to me, I'd put all three young kids in the outfield and DH Soto, only because Soto's also, he's had a bum wrist. He had the bad hammy.
A little banged up.
Yeah, he's banged up. So DH Soto, and let's have an outfield of Benj, Morabito, and Ewing. Carson Benj had an adjustment period because, after April, he was still hitting under 200. I think he's like up to like maybe 243. I said on my show prior to the season, I'd be very happy with Benj if he went the whole year and could hit 250, which he's almost at that mark now. So AJ Ewing had the most magical week of first week of any big leaguer could dream of. First hit in his first game was a triple. He drew 3 walks in that game. He's proven that he could steal bases, and the kids' defense, as with Benj's, are both pretty good. Morabito, I saw him down in Port St. Lucie in spring training this year. Not completely sold on him, but like Tom said, these are kids. There's going to be growing pains and an adjustment period, only because these guys are all young. It's on the job learning, and no amount of games played in AAA or AA can truly prepare you for what's to come when you're facing guys who have $25 million a year salaries. While I have the floor also, I don't know who the clubhouse attendant was that gave Morabito number 8, but that's a different story for a different day. But no, I'm excited. Let the kids play. And we've seen Benj. Benj lately has been clutch walk-off RBI man. So
he's literally one of our best players, honestly.
Yeah. As far as what you said about him not being a leadoff hitter, there's really the art of the leadoff hitter is dead in baseball now. You look around the league, guys are putting power guys batting first. The Dodgers lead off Ohtani every game. So, by definition, Benj technically could be a leadoff guy because he hits for contact and he's a speedy guy. So I don't mind him batting leadoff. I mean, AJ Ewing could usurp that role later on. But, hey, it's been working for the Mets. At least it did last week. So, but I'm very excited to see what the future holds for those three in the outfield. We might be looking at the outfield of the future.
Absolutely.
And maybe Juan Soto pulls a Bryce Harper and moves to first base. Maybe.
He said he would be open to it later in his career, and I believe him. So, we'll see what happens. Cole?
I agree. I think that the Soto and he should kind of stick to DH just to kind of save his his body and have the kids play the outfield. They're all even Morabito has some speed as well, so that's not really something I feel like Mets have seen have consistent speed on a team. So to have guys that can steal 40 plus bases, whatever it may be, that's definitely an eye opener to have on this team, just to make some type of noise on the bases. And it's crazy. Even a couple weeks ago, we were talking about should Benj get sent down, and really ever since then he's kind of blew up and has looked really great. And I was also talking about how it is kind of a blessing in disguise, how the Mets weren't playing so great that I felt like Benj's time was kind of okay, we do have holes here. You're not playing the best, but we're not playing great either. So you can kind of stick here and see and run it out. And that's definitely worked for him to kind of be okay, they believe in me, whatever, I'm going to, see what I can do here. Yeah. And it's worked out. For AJ Ewing, I was this is kind of the magic piece of the puzzle, because he came onto the team and they had, I think they won one game in for the week. So I'm really excited about him and his just his patience too. He has 10 walks already or something like that. Which is really, you know, I was expecting the kind of him like to kind of be like a little amped up, especially his first game. Kind of like, oh, like let me make something happen. And he had 3 walks in that game. So just to have that confidence, like, okay, like I'm here, but I don't have to be like that savior. There's guys like Juan Soto on this team that, you know, those veteran players that should be playing to their best abilities, and I'm kind of here just to kind of get on base and let them do their job. But, you know, of course, if I can get a double and get a home run, that's a plus as well. And for Morabito, you know, it's only his second game, which he wasn't in the lineup today. So
yeah, they're gonna platoon him. You know, he's gonna be in that Austin Slater role.
Yeah. So, you know, I have to see more of him to kind of get my word on him. But, you know, he was playing, you know, good in AAA. So, yeah, it's just really a bright future when you look at it. I'm excited. Like, if we're gonna have a down year, I want to see kind of what's to come, and to kind of have some hope in the future. Like, okay, these are the guys that are up and coming. Like, I'm excited for what's to come for the Mets.
Yeah, definitely. Let's go ahead and go turn to the comments. Let's see here.
Oh, answer that last question.
Clint Alexander, he said the vibes in here feels like a prayer circle. Battered individuals, keep your head up.
We're Mets fans.
Yeah, exactly. James Williams is a bright bulb in the Mets lamp. Absolutely. We got GGG here. It says Bichette will be on a heater by mid-June. I can believe that, honestly. Like, that's the way he looks. He's tearing it up right now. I'm thinking Lindor will be back by mid-June. That's what I'm hearing. That's what we all heard in regards to mid to late June. So if that boy can come back, I'll be all smiles because I love Lindor. Clint Alexander says, is Juan Soto overpaid for what he brings to the Met? Come on, man. Like,
it's not your money.
Like, I'm just not even going to answer this question. This is a silly question.
No, let's talk about it, because there's a lot of, especially because I was at all 3 games of this Subway Series this weekend. And the amount of Juan Soto hatred, like, you would have thought like every ex-girlfriend he ever had was in that building.
Well, that's the problem, is that Yankee fans and Yankees, whether it be media or fans or whoever it is, they're not used to being rejected. They're not used to somebody using their facilities, putting on their uniform and saying, not for me. I'd rather go somewhere else.
And you know what? I'm starting to think it's not because he came here. It's that he left, period.
Yeah.
Because if you remember, there was another Yankee that left in free agency and went to the Mets the very next season. Curtis Granderson left them, came here, and he said in his introductory presser, a quote I'll never forget, and I quote, "I play for the real New York team now." And they don't hate Curtis Granderson.
No. Because it's the fact that they love Juan Soto, and they can't love him because he's here now. That's the whole problem.
And on top
rejection
of that,
is a horrible thing, because here's the thing, like, people want to talk about overpaid. Here's how free agency works for anybody that doesn't understand. If there's a market for you, if there's 5 to 10 to 15 teams that are bidding, the price keeps going up. And whoever is going to be the last bidder pays the highest price. That's just the way it goes. So Juan Soto played his free agency the way he was supposed to. All of these teams are vying for my services, and I went ahead and I went to the highest bidder, and that's fine. Shohei Ohtani did the same thing. There were some suitors out there for him. He got $700 million. Nobody's talking about Ohtani being overrated. Who's worth that type of money? Whoever can give it to you.
Yeah.
So it's not about how much money he makes. Juan Soto makes $50 million a year. Aaron Judge makes $40 million a year. You have guys that are making a little bit more than the $45 million a year for pitchers. It's whatever the team wants to pay you. It's not our money. It's not coming out of our pockets. I don't care. Like, you know what I mean? It doesn't matter to me.
The worst part is, and I got into this debate a couple of times throughout my time this weekend at Citi Field, Yankee fans, they don't bring this up, but we all remember the 2024 ALCS trophy presentation where there were Yankee fans in Cleveland chanting "Resign Soto."
Yeah,
there were chants of MVP towards Soto in the World Series, and which makes it even much more worse. At home at Yankee Stadium, they were chanting "Resign Soto," and the Yankee fans say he's not worth the money. He's not worth the money, but you wanted him to stay, and you cried when he left.
Yeah.
So that's all it is. It's like, you got people that continuously get caught up in these players' contracts. I don't give a shit. I don't care who makes what. I don't care.
One last thing on the topic, and people tend to forget, he was never a Yankee by choice. San Diego traded him there because he wouldn't commit long term to them. And then you have other guys like
a lot of people forget that.
Their memories are very selective when it comes to their own agenda. But we all can't forget Roger Clemens faked a retirement to get out of his contract there to then become a Houston Astro the next year.
Well, he wanted to go closer to home.
Yeah, but faked a retirement to get out of your contract.
He's a known cheater. He did so.
but yet this guy leaves. And honestly, if the Yankees would have just said, "All right, Juan, he only had one demand, and the demand was give me 24/7 security for my mother." That's why he came here, because Steve Cohen said, "We'll do that."
I also think it's like I don't get is he getting paid too much for what he's contributing? Juan Soto, every single time he puts on his cleats and steps into his batter's box, I know that he's the best hitter on the field, period. Like,
the man was almost 40-40 last year in his first year in New York.
Facts. And I just want to say, like, I hear this one too, that like because they put out all of these big contracts, we pay for it in the ticket prices and stuff like that. I just want to tell you, if they didn't sign Soto, ticket prices would go up anyway. Like we live in New York. It's expensive to go to sporting events here. I don't like that doesn't affect anything. It's not my money. The owner of the Mets has trillions of dollars. I'm not going to be upset when he decides to give away millions. Who cares? At least I know the money that I'm spending and giving him every year. He's taking his own money and it's like, here you go. Just go produce for my team.
And what I want, give me another one. Go get me another guy that's making $700 million. Matter of fact,
fortunately, I don't know who that is.
Call the Padres right now. If Fernando Tatis can't hit a home run right now, I'll take him over here because he'll be happy with Soto.
Barry,
you see what they look like in the WBC? The man was happy. He wants to leave San Diego. Get him out of there and bring him to New York.
Barry,
you don't want to be there.
Barry.
You don't want to be there.
Barry. Let us save you from yourself on this one. I don't want you to start preaching, bring Fernando Tatis here, because we all know if Fernando Tatis came here and was doing what he's doing in San Diego, he would be on the next shuttle to Mars. You don't want that.
Listen, let me tell you something. Juan Soto has struggled. I will never.
Oh, but it's not even in the same stratosphere.
I will
Juan Soto can put a ball over the fence.
Juan Soto can
hit tonight.
Juan Soto can botch a ball every game for the next 150. I will never put him in a suit to go to Mars. And it'll be the same thing with Tatis. He will never get a suit to Mars. Okay?
Am I wrong? Am I wrong? The man hasn't hit a home run yet, and I'm pretty positive gave up a little league home run.
He did.
He hasn't hit a home run yet, but when you look at the advanced numbers, he's hitting the ball well.
Not analytics.
Listen, you gotta play the analytic game, because here's the thing. Bo Bichette was getting a lot of unlucky at bats. He was hitting the ball hard. He was hitting guys, and now you're starting to see him get out of that. That matters. If he's hitting the ball well and he's just hitting it to somebody, it matters. I can guarantee you Fernando Tatis is going to come out of this. He's not a bad baseball player. He's just having a bad stretch.
Okay.
Like anybody who calls Fernando Tatis a bad baseball player, you're not watching.
No, but I'm not saying that. I'm not necessarily saying that he's a bad baseball player. I'm just saying that I don't for the length of time that he has on that deal, him being this bad right now, I don't, especially with where the Mets are currently, I don't know if I want to give up anything to just go get him right now.
I would.
I don't know.
I would.
Unless we're giving him a bag of balls to take the contract, maybe you can get me into that, but I don't know. I want it. Where's he going to play?
I would give them Morbido. I would give them Wenninger.
You would give them Wenninger?
Yes.
We need pitching.
Well, we can buy it.
Who though? There's not a lot available.
Are you forgetting David Stearns is our president of baseball operations?
Listen, you gotta understand. I want Tatis. I don't care what it costs. Okay, go get him. Go get him because
David Stearns
he's unhappy. Okay, It's like Chris Bosh in Toronto. He was unhappy being there. He called LeBron and said, "Y'all going to South Beach? I'm coming too." Right? And the man has been happy ever since. The man retired and had a heart problem, didn't care. Because why? He got to play with his people. Fernando Tatis wants to play with his friends. He wants to play with Soto. He wants to be in New York. Get him here. Okay? I don't give a damn what's going on. Okay? That's what I want. I'm just telling you.
I respect it. I don't know. I don't know if I'm ready to give up.
Listen,
I'll give up a lot to get
this one
Fernando
is interesting.
Here.
If the Mets could trade for Caminero listen,
they're in first place.
I
they ain't
would
trading anything.
for him too. Trade everybody. Go get him. Right? So,
because again, you also got to look like. I think we talked about it in the this past offseason. Next offseason, I mean, we do have the lockout coming.
Yeah, it
is a thin free agent class.
It is
real thin. So I don't know if you're getting any of those guys. Like if you don't, I mean, after Skubal, it's Freddie.
Well, I think
wise,
I think this year, because the free agent market is so thin, you're definitely it's going to be more of a trade market type of offseason, right? You're going to see a lot of trades happen rather than people go ahead and try to overpay in free agency if there's no talent there. You know what I mean?
I guess so. I
can see that happening. Did we cover everything?
I think so.
Did you have anything else to add, Alfred?
Well, I know I talked about it on my show this week, and I know the Subway Series is over. But if I could just say one final thing before we move on.
Yes, sir.
Yankee fans, please conduct yourselves better. That's all I ask.
Facts. Big facts.
There's no need. Now I get it. You want your team to win. You play in the next borough, so a lot of you could take up half the stadium. I have no problem with people on the visiting team. Put that picture down and put it away. I'm trying to make a point. I don't have an issue with people coming in droves to watch the visiting team play. That's your team. But there's no reason to start up fights. There's no reason to splash beer in people's faces. There's no reason to threaten people because they're chanting "Let's go Mets," and that's not your team. And then there's no reason to want to accost somebody because your team lost 2 out of 3 games to theirs. And then if you're when the rule of thumb is that when you lose, you shut up. You either say good game or you say nothing at all.
To the victor go the spoils.
Yeah, the great St. John's basketball coach, Lou Carnesecca once said, when you win, say very little, and when you lose, say even less. And the fact that, they lost the Subway Series and immediately is, you guys are not going to be in the playoffs, or your team still sucks, or my personal favorite, well, we've got 27 rings. You haven't won in 40 years. Like, bro, why can't we focus on what just happened in front of us? Like I call it the deflect and disrespect strategy. You'll disregard what you just saw, and then you'll go ahead to disrespect the winner. Like, I kid you not, there were a series of altercations in Citi Field this weekend, started all by Yankee fans that were just inexcusable. And I don't know. The Yankees pride themselves as a classy organization, but that class doesn't extend to their fan base. So
facts.
And I can't excuse that behavior because, granted, yes, you have 27 rings, but you haven't won a Subway Series at Citi Field since 2018. And we're in for guys who like to harp on past history, the current history tells you you can't win in City. You don't win in City Field.
Right.
So I just wish that their fan base was a little bit more classy in their behavior in a visiting stadium.
You see, you want to go ahead and be nice about it. I won't. I think the majority of Yankee fans are scummy people.
Agreed. I said on my show, I referred to them as I quote, Bronx trash.
Yeah, they're the dregs of society. That's just what they are. You know, they don't have much going for them, and that's all they do is care about their Yankees because they have nothing else to cheer for in their lives. They're losers, and if you can be able to go to a sporting event and cause and want to fight people based on your allegiance to a team, you have to be the biggest loser in the world. Seriously. Like, I can be able to argue with somebody or have a discussion about my team. I never, ever thought about putting hands on somebody because I root for a particular team. What type of idiot do you have to be to even have that in your mindset? But you have them come here like we're supposed to be intimidated by y'all. We don't give a fuck about Yankee fans. Like you know, realistically, we don't care. Y'all come to our house. You want to go ahead and go act up. And then when you get beat up and get sent back to the Bronx, you want to be mad about it. Like, dude, like, y'all gotta chill out. It's baseball. It's sports. Take your ass home. Go cool out. Go wash out. Go take a cold shower and go worry about the next day. Why are you worried about fighting people at sporting events? It's corny, and they always do it. They always do it, but nobody wants to talk about it.
No, but and a lot of them. Again,
what are you entitled about?
It's the 27 rings argument. You know, if they ever opened up a museum just based on Yankee history, a lot of those fans could apply to be curators of that museum because that's all they have to talk about. Granted, yeah, Mets haven't won in 40 years, but 2009, that's 17 years ago. And the way things are looking, as long as the Dodgers are playing the way they're playing and they're signing the way they're signing, it may be 40 years before we see another Yankee championship too.
Let me tell you something. As much as it's a painful road sometimes to be a Met fan, I will be a Met fan 100 times over 100.
Of course.
Than ever root for a team like that with that trash of a fan base. I'm sorry. I just can't do it. So, no. You know, and I'm not saying that there's all Yankee fans are trash because they're not. I have plenty of friends that are Yankee fans that don't behave like animals. But for the people that I see, it just makes the entire experience speaking to Yankee fans terrible because you don't know who you're dealing with. You don't know what psycho you're talking to. That's the problem.
And you know what the worst part is? So I have a half season plan, right? So I'm there literally 41 games out of the year. So I deal with Phillies fans. I deal with Braves fans multiple times a year in Citi Field. Yankee fans only come there for one series. And the Phillies and the Braves fans, our division rivals, they may get a little, out of hand here and there, but they're never nowhere near as bad as the Bronx contingent.
Yeah.
Which is saying a lot for a team that we only see twice a year, not even in our league.
Like I said, dregs of society. For me, do I have a mission to Mars this week?
You have to.
Why should I have to?
If you don't, I have a candidate.
Who is your candidate for mission to Mars, Alfred?
For the people who have watched my show, I got to admit, I made a bad pick. Out of spring training, it was between Richard Lovelady and Craig Kimbrell. And you remember, Barry, I was fuming mad that they picked Richard Lovelady over Craig Kimbrell.
Every day you would harass my phone and talk about how bad Richard Lovelady was. And I was right there with you.
And I always said, we should have took Craig Kimbrell.
Yeah.
World Series champion, Rookie of the Year, future Hall of Famer, 7-time a reliever of the year. But my, oh my, has the fall from grace for Craig Kimbrell been bad. Like really, really. And
he's like 50. Leave him alone.
I tried to defend it. I said, this guy could be a good mentor to the Joey Gerbers and Austin Warrens of the world. This guy won a World Series. You need guys who have championship experience in your clubhouse. but it's just not working out.
No.
And he's going to get DFA'd. And once he gets DFA'd, forgive me for going this route, but I think his career is over. Even the worst of worst teams are not touching him after his Mets tenure is over. Yeah. But I can admit I was wrong. If there's anybody on this team that I would want to ship out of here, sorry, Craig. And I love Craig Kimbrell, but he's long removed from the Braves and Red Sox and Padres days.
I saw that Craig Kimbrell fall from grace coming a mile away. I saw that. I knew Craig Kimbrell spent so much time kicking our ass when he was down in Atlanta. Really old at the end of his rope. I'm like, he's gonna come here. He's gonna give us maybe 1 or 2 games and then fall and then look like he needs to be checked into a retirement home.
He's a double agent. That's what he is. Can't be trusted.
Although I will say, would I be shocked if the Mets DFA him tomorrow and he goes back to Atlanta and he figures it out? I would not be shocked in the least bit.
No, because that's how it works.
But get the hell out of here.
You know what the sad part is? In that extra inning game Monday, he pitched the final inning, right? We were up 10 runs, and I'm thinking, all right, Craig, 1, 2, 3, and the man gave up a run while we were up by 10 runs.
Can't do it.
And when he gave up that run, my immediate thought was, all right, Mendy, maybe you need to pull him.
I saw that too, and I was like, how you give up a run already? Like, we're up huge, and you giving up a run? What's wrong with you, man? What's wrong with you? So that's a good one.
So is that who's going to Mars?
No.
Take him and his Velociraptor windup pitching stance and just ship him off.
I tried to be nice. You know, but
it's David Stearns for like the 5th week in a row. I'm kidding.
It is not. I am going to give David Stearns a break. But
Carlos Mendoza.
Okay, so you got Mendoza. Nicole, who do you think it is?
No, my true pick is Kimbrell. The Mendoza is a joke.
Silent Assassin, who do you think is my mission to Mars this week?
I'll go with Simeon.
I got it.
So you're going with Trevor Simeon.
I got it.
Okay, that's not a bad choice.
I got
Marcus Simeon, you mean Barry? Not
Marcus Simeon. Excuse me.
Wrong sport.
I'm over here distracted right now. So you're going with Marcus Simeon. Tom, who are you going with?
I think you're picking Luis Torrens.
Luis Torrens. Not a bad pick either.
No, you can't get rid of Torrens now because he's not even the worst catcher on the active roster.
Not a bad pick either. Tom said it. I didn't say that I was.
Well, I'm just picking what that's not who I want to send to Mars. I love me some Luis Torrens. I think he's a perfect backup catcher. Right. I'm just going off of our group chat.
He's talking about me. Based on how I respond to things, Tom knows me well. Well, I just loaded it up because I have 2. The first person who is going to be packing their bags and getting a suit ready to be able to go to Artemis and go find out what's going on, because there's supposed to be some spaceship that's coming down here. I don't know if you guys heard the news. There's some spaceship they said that's coming to Earth. So I need this person to be able to meet that spaceship and just keep going, right? Keep going. Tyrone Taylor.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Save the Subway Series. What's wrong with you?
Here's my thing. I understand that he is the hero of the Subway Series.
That should have bought him 1 month.
It was a great moment. I'm not even gonna lie to you. It was fabulous. I was proud of him, and this is why it hurts me so much to give it to him. Right? How dare you? Just go ahead and look at the board kid in left field. He made a crazy attempt at a catch, and you're just staring at him. What is this? This is not Pee-wee baseball. This is not Sandlot. You go get the damn ball and you throw it in. What's so crazy about the play is that he's looking at Morbido. Morbido gets up and gets the ball himself. He's probably like, what the hell is this dude looking at me for? Get the damn ball and we can be able to play. What are we doing? This is baseball. This is Major League Baseball. So if you don't want to get the ball, what you could do is you could just be able to pack your bags, right? Get your suit ready and go to Mars, because I'm sick of that. I am sick of Tyrone Taylor. He was already on thin ice for me, right? And that just put it over the top. I don't need him on this team anymore. I think that you should be able to go somewhere else. We have plenty of kids that we can be able to go and trust and do dumb shit in the outfield. I don't need veterans doing dumb shit. It's bad enough that we had Marcus Semien looking like an idiot yesterday. I don't need it, okay? I need veterans to be smart and lead the team and not be dumb. So Tyrone Taylor, you on your mission to Mars. The next one, I don't have a graphic for, but it is Joe Davis. Joe Davis, what a scumbag you are, right? This is a dude that is such a Dodgers homer that he couldn't help himself, that when he was on a national broadcast with the Subway Series, he's just, oh, the Mets. He's just making fun of the Mets. You need to make sure that you have an objective type of commentary. He's not an objective guy. Everybody knows that. So Joe Davis, go fuck yourself and make sure that you pack your bags and go to Mars too. I don't need him. When it comes to the Mets, I don't want Joe Davis nowhere near commentary. I don't want him. Just go do your thing in LA, because you have him as a commentary for other games. But wasn't he at the Dodgers parade? He's a Dodger homer. I don't need people like that commentating on the Mets. I don't want it. I don't want it.
To be fair, every national broadcaster has an MLB team that they do regional coverage for.
Yes, but they don't sound like scumbags when they're going ahead and talk about the Mets. I don't like that. I don't like that. Anybody who got smoke for the Mets, I got smoke for you. All right? That's how it is. So take your ass to Mars or go back to LA. That's all I care about. Don't be commenting on the Mets. Don't do nothing about that. Don't try to make no jokes. We don't want your jokes and we don't want you. All right? That's all for Mission to Mars this week. Thoughts?
I didn't see the Joe Davis one coming. I should have. I should have seen that one coming. But
I had him marked as soon as I heard him say, "Oh, the Mets! Oh, the Mets!" Oh, you on the list?
So you want Craig Kimbrell to stick around, or you wouldn't mind if he does?
Craig Kimbrell has been on Mission to Mars already. Okay, he's been here already. He's been here. You know. Tyrone Taylor, though?
No, bro. That Subway Series, that home run on Sunday is going to live in Mets lore until the end of time.
It will, but that doesn't mean he has to be here.
That should have bought him another month, bro.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean he has to be here.
I think that for me that bought, because I was over Tyrone Taylor easy. I was just tired of the automatic out in the lineup. But after that home run, I was like, all right. You're in my good graces for a little while longer.
I'm a little harsh, okay? I see past the okay. You gave me a little moment, that's fine, but that crap that we saw yesterday,
his defense alone makes him better than MJ Melendez, bro. Like
I like MJ Melendez.
Yeah, okay? MJ Melendez has cooled off worse than an apple pie on a windowsill, bro.
That's a fact. He needs to go. He needs to go. I'm also waiting for Mike Talkman, but we don't know when he's coming back. That's all for this show. Alfred, this was fun, man. Thank you for coming by.
Thanks for having me.
Gracing us with your presence, I guess.
No, it was fun.
Hey, listen, I watch you guys every Wednesday, man. I'm a fan, so to chop it up about Mets baseball with y'all was a real pleasure.
Nah, man, you're doing your thing. You finally listened to me in regards to pushing out the content, man. So good job. I enjoy the clips. Go ahead and leave your socials again where people can find your content and how they can be able to tap in with you when you go live, man.
The _Metropolitan_report. That's the handle for Instagram. Working on the X stuff. Metropolitan Report podcast on both Facebook and YouTube. I don't have a consistent schedule. I just go live before every series and after every series. So, if you subscribe to the YouTube, you just get notified whenever it's coming up. And I always schedule streams in advance because I'm always live. So it's not like I'm coming out of live nowhere. You'll get a couple hours notice.
Well, I think that's not a bad schedule to have in regards to if you're doing pre-show and post-game, it's okay. You know what I mean? It's if you can be able to do that after every game, that'd be cool. But that's a lot of commitment. We understand that it's rough for us, right? Like we are penciled in here on Wednesdays, and we'll try to expand as much as we can, but we appreciate everybody that comes in here, drops comments, Whether they are, fans of us or not, we truly appreciate the support, man.
No, I give you guys a lot of one last thing I'll say. I'll give you guys a lot of credit because you guys were live while the Mets were playing on the West Coast several times, and I know it's not easy to report on a team while actively watching the game in Tom's case sometimes. So
I love that though. I love that because it's like, we're getting active coverage of the game, no matter if it's good or bad, right? Like
I can't help it. It's the mental illness that we all have. I can't turn it off.
Yeah. So Silent Assassin, any final words? Just make sure you rest up because we got a big day tomorrow.
Hoping these allergies,
Don't worry. I have a whole bunch of masks and things for you. Make sure you stay 12 feet away.
But other than that, I hope that come, that when they get back to the city, they're playing a little bit better, so I can go see them and don't have to feel bad about spending money.
Yeah.
If I spend money and they lose, it's not going to be a good night for me.
Not acceptable. Yeah, my thing is this: as bad as we feel in these last two games, there's always a silver lining, right? This is my final word: is that we can still get the split tomorrow. Mm-hmm. And that's the thing. No matter how bad we looked over these last 2 days, the split is still there for the taking. And we can be able to still salvage this road trip because what did I tell you, Alfred, what the record was? 5-2.
Yeah.
And they still have the chance to finish 5-2. So we'll go ahead and see what that looks like. We'll see you guys next week. Stay safe. Stay cool. Peace.